Exploring the back alleys of Mokdong here by the immigration office, and they have everything we want. We ordered Korean style soba, which I like. I don't know, there's just this Korean taste. Wasabi's already in there.
Wasabi thing.
Yeah, I told you there's wasabi. They just throw it in there. Filling, refreshing, good. Hello everyone. One of the biggest misconceptions I hear is that Seoul is an expensive city. So today I'm going to show you a vlog covering a typical day out with my girlfriend in Seoul, enjoying delicious ice cream, shopping, and even getting a massage for cheaper than what it costs us in Bangkok. At the end of the video, I'll provide additional commentary about the day and a more in-depth analysis of costs in Korea. But for now, I hope you enjoy this episode of my journey back to Korea. 할아버지 사랑해.
I am too.
Is on the same Netflix show as the J-Fi one. It's like I'm going crazy. So that is the immigration office. Across the street, ice cream big sale. This place, the price is so cheap. Oh, everything is like 50 cents. These big tubs are only $3.50. Lotte Pokemon. Oh, I'm so curious about this. Icy thing inside of vanilla ice cream? What? Yogurt green tea ice cream cone? A honey butter waffle sandwich? Fudge, you're gonna say this is Japanese, aren't you?
Yeah, they have the same one.
This is like a snack?
This is pineapple. What is this?
They have jujube with kiwi. Ta-da! Alright, so we ended up getting this. And then I got this, which is another twist on a classic. Oh yeah. And Mayu got this sort of boring looking one, but that's her choice. Mayu already dived into her ice cream. This is a little different than what I expected. Swirly orange stuff? What does it taste like?
Mango.
It's just mango ice cream? Okay. But whatever makes you happy, babe. Check it out. This little kid is watching us. How much was this?
40 cents.
40 cents? I want to get another one.
You have another ice cream here.
But this like green mochi thing is made out of souk, which is healthy for you. It feels like I'm not eating something bad for me. Mayu has complained that she didn't want this white floury thing, so I licked it off for her.
Still, this is still first bite. I said I don't want a first bite.
Yeah, but you won't get the white powdery stuff. Just eat it! Alright. Tell me that ain't good. Tell me you're not gonna crave that when you're in Thailand.
Exactly the same.
Except it's not 40 cents in Japan, right? Yeah, let's have some of this Korean honey. Ooh, oh, I already smell it. Oh.
Smell what?
This bread thing, it smells. Oh. I'm gonna go get another one. This is so good. You have like that bread flavoring coming out of this, I don't know what you call this, crust. And then you obviously have the koton flavor also from the vanilla ice cream, super milky. And then this honey, it gives it that sweet flavor without making it taste like it's, you know, that fructose taste that you get from all the American stuff? Like that overpowering sweetness that makes it taste like, okay, this is very unhealthy for you. You don't get that. It sort of tricks you into thinking this might not be that bad for your body, although it probably is. Alright, I'm going for third. Thank God I don't have diabetes. Okay, but I've never been this excited about food for a while. This is new. I never. Oh look, it's very Japanese looking. Wasak.
What are you talking about? This is Korean. Where
No,
is
right
Japanese?
here. There's Japanese right there.
Ice.
It says ice.
It's also.
Yeah. Looks like that.
I can hear it.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's some definitely crunchy in there, and overall it's very chewy. Oh, brain freeze. Yeah, this white part is crunchy. There's like a very big high school right over there. That's why you see a bunch of kids. Time to go shopping. Okay, so we're at Yeongdeungpo Times Square. We're here because Mayu wants to check out these Korean figurines called Sticky Monster Lab. They're quite famous. So this is the main area of Times Square. It's a huge complex. So Mayu has figured out that it's here in Electromart. Okay, well this seems like a Best Buy kind of store. And this is the kind of place that's gonna make us impulse buy. $400 though. Less than that. Foldable helmets. Picked it up. It's like my feet are in this. Along with probably another 1,000 people who have tried this, but let's try it. But then there's this ball that's below. Several balls that are tickling the bottom of my feet. Oh, but it feels good. What about yours?
Mine is saying all the way.
Oh yeah. This has a lot of modes. Now it is grabbing my toes, pushing all the blood to the back of my feet, I feel. And then it has the balls rubbing my ankles. Oh, you know what? And it's probably blowing air into these thigh areas. Yeah. Oh, now it's squeezing the top of my calves. And then, oh, slowly rolling all the blood down to the bottom of my feet. Oh, this is... Oh, so good. We've been sitting here for about 30 minutes just getting a foot massage. It's so good. Okay, these people emptied out, so we're gonna check out the shoulder one. Okay, I'm gonna try out this $2,000 massage chair. See how good it is. Put your feet in there. Place for your arm. Okay. Ooh, this is like a PlayStation touchscreen kind of thing. Oh, it's laying me out horizontally. 4 Thai ladies giving me a massage because I got somebody working on my feet. I got somebody working on my arms right now. Somebody working on my shoulders. Oh, now it's like a shiatsu thing. Oh, now my head. Oh yeah, right there, that hits the spot. Oh look, these things. Oh, it's expanding and it's working on my shoulders. Oh, it's like a boa constrictor. Something is squeezing my torso now from the sides. Finished. This is Mayu's dream machine. Oh my god. He's getting annoyed because we can't find the sticky guys. But didn't we enjoy like a free massage? Where can you get a massage cheaper than this? Not even Thailand. It's like $10 for 1 hour. But we had completely free. Oh! Oh! The link disappears. Oh look, over there, over there. Oh! Barbarian barbershop. A cut is only $22. Found the Sticky Monster Lab stuff next to the drinking game section, but it's only this much. Okay, we're at Lotte Mall, which is also Youngin Station. We're gonna go over there actually because it's gonna close soon. And this is the hot price zone. I've actually picked up a few stuff myself here. The hot item today is this down jumper that comes in all sorts of sizes. It's only $30, but look how crazy people are for it. Right next to it is an event hall, which is usually where they have the sales. They're enticing you to get that moomin. Oh, what is this? It's a scam, I tell you, it's a scam. Whoa. Anyways, we are now back at Youngin Station, and the entrance that we came in has us in an underground shopping area. So seems like there's a lot of cheap clothes. Like it's only like $5, $10 for these dress.
This one different color.
1 o'clock now, and it seems like most of the stores are starting to close, but there's still a lot of stores open. Okay, so me and Mayu finished our cosmetics shopping. There's literally 24 karat flakes in here. I got this one little piece of foundation for her friend in Thailand. Still gave her a sample. So when you're shopping here in Korea for cosmetics, you are expected to receive samples whenever you buy anything. And I really like that idea because those samples become super useful when you're traveling. So you can just throw the sample things into your carry-on and not have to worry about exceeding the limit of whatever milliliter allowance they allow at whatever airport you're at. And literally, I have enough samples to last me months if I traveled. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that vlog. I know that part about the massage, you guys are all probably thinking I tricked you. How is massage ever going to be cheaper than Bangkok here? Definitely in the experience department, hands down, Thai massage is the best. I would still go back to Thailand and have a massage. But honestly, guys, you really have to try these amazing massage chairs from Korea. I think in the foot department and then the skull department, it is significantly better than even a Thai massage. I kid you not. And these massage chairs are literally everywhere to demo. That Electromart is actually the Best Buy equivalent. So you see them everywhere, and it's completely okay to just go there and try them out all the time. And now because they gained such popularity, I think half of my relatives have them, because even though it might be like $1,000 or $2,000, generally they're on like a payment plan where they pay only about $50 a month, and then they get full after service, or they even lease them out for cheaper than that. So it's not a bad deal, because you can literally do this every day and it gets the job done. I mean, I'm a big massage fanatic because I like to relax myself. I can tell you it gets the job done, you know? So I don't think it's too misleading. But as far as the cost, oh my gosh, the cost. What do I have to say? On my comments, I see a lot of people telling me I should definitely move back to Thailand because, you know, that's where you have to save money. They understand I'll probably make more money in Korea, but it's like no doubt in their heads that Bangkok is significantly cheaper to live in. You know, Bangkok is significantly cheaper to live in compared to America. I've made many videos about that and why. But I had to have a chuckle because they're commenting on the stingiest man on YouTube and thinking that me considering Korea, I never took into account the costs. So I actually will be breaking down a lot of the costs that you'd be probably interested in and debunking it, because I think a lot of the misconception around costs in Seoul is simply around the fact that they just hear Koreans complain about the cost going up and then they just assume it's exactly like America. But in my experience, it's not true. I tend to discount local Koreans and their complaints about costs because having been here, I understand a lot of the costs that are related. It's not something that's a necessity. I do have to admit that there's significant pressure to you know, have a lot of luxury brands and have cars that aren't necessary, etc. Because you need to sort of show that you're better than somebody else. You have a front to make. So those associated costs, yes, when it comes to luxury items, etc., it could go up high. Whereas in Thailand, the average person probably doesn't get as much pressure. But if you're gonna get cars and such, to be honest with you, Bangkok is even more expensive because of the ridiculous taxes. So yeah, I really think there is a big misconception about costs. So, okay, let me talk about food because you saw me eat food there. So, for example, the buckwheat noodles, they cost about $6. And you can see that the portion is significant. As a matter of fact, me and Mayu shared it, and we were completely full just off of that $6. So in equivalent, we probably spent about 100 baht each. If we wanted to have similar fullness in Bangkok, because the portions are smaller, it generally costs us somewhere from 150 to 200 baht per meal. So when we're trying to eat non-Thai food, such as just, you know, skewers off the street or somtam, or they're generally all similar. Boat noodles. If we don't want to have something like that, then we have to go and try to get Western types of food or foods with more protein, etc. It ends up actually costing us generally more
to eat that. And that's why you probably hear a lot of people saying, it costs a lot to live a Western lifestyle in Bangkok. It costs more than Europe, etc. There is relative truth to that, but I can't comment on Europeans because compared to America, I think it's still cheaper. But yeah, eating out, you get to have, as for me, I tend to have cuisine that I prefer here at a cheaper price. That's for sure. Same with because we generally prefer Korean or Japanese foods. And even when we go grocery shopping, getting the ingredients for that, it's not cheaper in Bangkok because those are luxury items and we have to go to like Gourmet Market or Tops. Now, I know that there's some people who say, I could eat Tom Yum Goong and Som all day and just eat Thai food. More power to you. I know someone's gonna say you're just a snowflake. But I've lived in Thailand for 5 years, guys, and I'm not the only person. Generally, most expats tend to eventually switch to whatever their diet usually was after the whole initial interest in Thai food wears off. I mean, to be honest with you, even most middle-class Thais I meet, they don't only eat Thai food. As a matter of fact, if you go to a mall, you'll probably see more Japanese restaurants than Thai restaurants. So it's like, I think there's a lot of misconception about cost because you see these street food videos and people just go and they eat like $1 somtam or $1 boat noodles that are loaded with MSG, super salty and probably not good for you. Creates stomach issues like I had with acid reflux, etc. And they think that they can just live like that. But to me, I'm really, really cautious about my health. So I had to change my diet. And based on my current diet in Bangkok, and if I compare the costs here, the costs are similar or maybe even cheaper here. One thing I really, really like are those ice creams. And I could tell you when you go to groceries and you try to get, those kinds of luxury types of groceries, such as ice cream, cereal, etc., of the same quality that I'm trying to get in Korea, it's gonna be significantly more expensive in Thailand. I mean, in Thailand, we have like Futaba, which is like a Japanese ice cream maker. It costs roughly 2 or 3 times as much as Korean ice cream. I'm a big ice cream fan. So I know you guys are thinking, well, that's not a cost that's applicable to me, but this is my experience, guys, for what I like and the variety that I like. It's gonna cost me a lot less here in Korea to experience those. So I'm not saying, I only want to eat Korean ice cream or have Korean types of foods. I miss Thai food, etc. But the whole point is that in your life, you're gonna want variety. And after the fun of just only eating Thai food wears out, which even Thais would agree, they don't want to only eat Thai food. You eventually want variety. And depending on you and your dietary needs, it's not necessarily cheaper in Bangkok just because you see only street food is significantly cheap. So moving on, clothes. In the beginning, when I went to Thailand, I used to buy a lot of Thai clothes because I wanted to look like a local. You don't really see me wear any of that. I eventually had to throw it all away. The t-shirts and such that I got at the night market, they're generally made out of polyester. It doesn't keep me cool. So then I tended to sort of purchase more performance clothes. And they might be 2 or 3 times more expensive, but I'm wearing it for 4 or 5 times longer than I would with Thai clothes. And even Thais, they generally prefer, you'll see like name brand clothes, etc. when you get name brand clothes and it's not on sale, you go to Paragon or any of these malls, you'll find that in Bangkok it's really expensive. Korea is similarly expensive. I can't say which one's more expensive, but what I can tell you is that Korea, there are so many avenues to purchase things on sale. As you can see, there's always like an event area at every one of these malls. And for example, that full-on like down jacket, and it's a maker too. Generally everything sold in Korea it has like a major maker and there's quality controls. It's not like a street vendor that is, manufacturing it on their own, like a no-name brand. They're generally high quality brands. Like that one was K-Swiss, for example. It was $30. I could tell you for a fact, based on the clothes I wear, Korea is significantly cheaper. As a matter of fact, I do all of my year's shopping of clothes and update my apparel for that year whenever I come to Korea. And I stop buying clothes in Thailand with the exception of like visiting the Nike factory outlet, but it's still a little more expensive there than it would be to visit the Nike factory outlet in Korea, or go to the outlets that I tend to like the Mario one. And you'll see that in my videos. It's like everything is relatively cheap. And all my Thai students are always asking me, oh, where did you get those clothes? Where did you get that clothes? And they're so surprised at how cheap I get them out here in Korea. I can tell you, unless you're the type of guy that prefers just buying t-shirts, wearing it for 2 days and throwing it away, because I know a lot of tourists do that, and just wearing tank tops. If you want to look respectable, it's not going to be any cheaper in Bangkok. It's probably going to be more expensive. And on the line of like apparels and name brand things, no doubt, I think probably compared to anywhere in the world, when it comes to cosmetics, Korea is the cheapest. There's no other country that comes close. We spend about $40 whenever we come to Korea, and we generally get cosmetics that will last us a year. I'm sorry, that's me. Mayu spends a little more because she gets all these mass packs. And not only that, she probably spends twice as much because all her Thai friends are requesting that we buy stuff for them in Korea because it's significantly cheaper than in Thailand. So, some of you guys don't care about cosmetics, but when you get older, you should at least put on decent moisturizer, use a face wash. That's just me, guys. That's relatively essential to me. And the costs are significantly cheaper in Korea. I'm not even going to compare it to America because that's like clearly expensive because you're ending up having to buy all these really expensive luxury brands. But Korean cosmetics, good quality, very cheap. It's like you'll save a lot of money, especially if you're a girl. Now, going on, transportation. If you've ever been to Bangkok, you know how cheap the taxis are. You know how affordable the subway and how awesome the subway systems are in Bangkok. So you probably cannot possibly imagine better public transportation at a lower cost anywhere else. Because compared to America, it's miles ahead, right? But I'm gonna tell you, Korea is even better and cheaper. The subway system is significantly more expansive. You have significantly more trains coming at a more frequent pace. You have reliable bus systems. They are GPS tracked, and they will tell you how many minutes it will take for the next bus to come in like a digital sign. Not only that, but the costs are cheaper. And the system is significantly more advanced where with the one card, let's say you're going from a route where it requires a subway and a transfer on a bus to go to this destination. When you come here and you transfer on the bus, because you're using the same card and it's GPS tracked, they don't charge you a full fare of this bus. You pay the full fare for the subway and you pay like an additional 10 cents for the transfer. So, I mean, not only does that make it cheaper, but even the fare alone, like going from here to here on a subway, if you compare a similar distance on the MRT or the BTS, Korea is still cheaper. So public transportation is significantly better and cheaper. And like, I don't even calculate that anymore because it's so insignificant. Like a full day of me traveling, I'll be going from here to here to here to here to here and coming back. It never really ever exceeds $5, even if I travel all the way across Seoul, go all the way up here and come back. And that particular day, I just went to Yeongdepo and back. That cost me like $2, guys. And that requires bus, subway back, and bus. It's $2. So I recommend that public transportation is cheaper out here and much easier to use. Now, there's some costs that you're probably thinking would be very expensive here that I didn't go over here. You're probably thinking, how much is it gonna cost for me to go out and enjoy myself at night? Nightlife, right? I know that's a big issue for you guys. I do these drinking guides and such, and in there you'll see costs. But what can I say? Actually, in Bangkok and Thailand, alcohol in general is very expensive. I mean, I could even argue similar quality alcohol, if you compare it even to America, it's still more expensive than America. All right. But I would say alcohol, I have never found alcohol that is cheaper anywhere else in the world and more available than Korea. I mean, like a bottle of soju, a whole bottle of it, or a whole bottle of rice wine, you can get it for like $2, and you can just drink out in the street if you want to save money, and it's sort of acceptable to do that. And even if you go to a restaurant, they don't really charge you more than $4 for it. So for those of you who like to drink, it's gonna be significantly cheaper. And to add to that, the reason I personally like drinking here better is I don't have to be drinking all these beers to even get a little buzz. Like, I know you guys like go to Nana and Cowboy, and it will take probably about 4 or 5 beers for the equivalent of the buzz of maybe 1.5 bottles of soju. So that's like a lot of unnecessary calorie and cost that you are adding to, you know, your alcoholic needs. I don't want to promote it, but I'm just saying, if you're a drinker, it's significantly cheaper in Korea, and there's a lot more variety and it's cheaper. And I think as far as like the craft beer scene here as well, availability of all sorts of different kind of liquor, I don't think there is more of a variety than in Korea. You know, I'll make other videos about it. You can check it out for yourself later. Now, the other thing I have to say that's great here is, this isn't really cost related, but on the subject of nightlife, there is not a curfew like in Bangkok. In Bangkok, even those like Western designated areas, they close generally around 2 a.m. Here, there is no closing. So, I mean, let's just simply put, nightlife is far more enjoyable and cheaper in Korea, with the exception of unless you're into like go-go bars. All right, so in all fairness, if you're that kind of person, yep, you're not gonna really get that anywhere else other than in Thailand. I mean, nowhere in Asia do they so blatantly have go-go bars. But for any average person, it's not really gonna matter. And when it comes to, you know, getting a girlfriend or anything, talk to anybody who's been to Korea or lived here. There is not a single man that would say it is hard to get a Korean girlfriend. It's just so very easy to find yourself like a regular girlfriend. And as far as the cost, I could even argue that it costs significantly more to have a girlfriend in Thailand because most of the expats that I know, even though I tell them not to, generally end up paying for everything. Just because they think their girl can't afford it. Generally, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Just look at YouTube. A lot of the girlfriends, they're not really working girlfriends. Although there's so many, but for whatever reason, a lot of the expats come out and they will expect to pay for their girlfriends. I mean, I don't, but I will tell you that society and the expectation out here is significantly more in the sense that your girlfriend pays an equal share. Unless they're like in their 20s. 20-something Korean girls, yeah, you probably have to pay for everything, but most of the girls in their 30s are very successful. Yeah, most of the women I meet out here in their 30s make significantly more money than I do, and they pay a significant share, or I generally never even pay, to be honest with you. They're always treating me out. I mean, I'm usually coming here as a guest, so that's why they're like, oh, you came, and then they treat me out. But yeah, you certainly, I mean, this is all varying, but you certainly won't pay any more here to have a girlfriend than in Thailand. So lastly, two big factors I know you guys are going to be concerned about is housing and healthcare. So this is an area of contention, and I can make a lot of videos around it. But housing, first of all, in Bangkok is not cheap, guys. It is cheap, however, because there is an abundance of smaller and very high quality condos available, which I personally prefer. So for me, housing is significantly cheaper in Bangkok, right? For what I want. A small condo with full amenities, with swimming pools, etc. And a lot also when it comes to hotels, if you're a tourist, it's like Thailand might be number one in its hotel affordability and standards in anywhere in Asia I visited. So you really can't compete with that. But a lot of Westerners might actually prefer and think housing is cheaper in Seoul. Let me tell you why that might be the case. Because there are a lot of Westerners who cannot accept living in such a small condo as the one I showed you. And I would say Koreans have a similar mindset in general. So it's really hard to find smaller condos like the one you see that you might want. Most of the housing available are like the bigger apartment buildings with about 2 to 3 rooms. And you have an availability of that in the city center. If you want to get something that is that large in Bangkok, near the city center, you have to pay significantly a lot more, or you have to go away from the city center where you're probably going to have to put in additional costs for cars, etc., and then it usually raises the cost. But in Korea, you have an availability of larger places to live, and it's relatively affordable. And I know some people are gonna, okay, so the thing that gets tricky here is in Seoul, and it's only in Seoul because actually in other areas the prices are going down. But for some reason in Seoul, if you want to buy a big apartment building like that, yes, it is pretty expensive. You're looking at maybe 500 up. It's like similar to housing prices in California per se. But the funny thing is, if you're just willing to rent it, or Koreans have a system called jeonse. So this might work for people who don't want to throw all their money and are always trolling my channel about, oh, it's a horrible investment buying something in this country, for example, because they think you should only buy property in America. This will work out for them. Chunse, what it is you put in a deposit, and based on that deposit, you don't have to pay anything for rent. So for example, this place that my parents are living in, they roughly deposited a little less than $100,000, and they live rent free. That's the Chunse system. Like, this is a little bit further off the city center, so that's why it's cheaper. But even in Seoul, like a really nice 1-bedroom condo, like right in the center of Gangnam, you could find it like around 100,000 deposit, and that's money that you will get back, 100,000, whenever you pull out that Chunse and you're ready to move out. But you get to just live rent free for depositing that. So this system might work for some of you, especially if you're retired and you don't want to necessarily have the commitment of buying something. So in certain senses, the housing system here could be cheaper, and it might work more to the advantage of you. And if you wanted to rent like a 1-bedroom, you know, there are ones available for around $500, $400. It's a bit tougher to find, but it's the same. Like, it's really hard to find, you know, the exact one that you want in Bangkok too. And I would say for the same square footage, it costs about the same as in Bangkok. It's not that much more expensive if you want to rent. And if you're going for bigger ones, like 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, to rent it, I think it's significantly cheaper than to try to find something like a 2-3 bedroom in the middle of Bangkok, guys. So housing is not that much more expensive if you're actually living here. And as far as healthcare is concerned, that is actually, I'm going to make a video in the future about my experience with it. But that's, for an expat, I think healthcare is one of the biggest advantages of living in Korea, because the costs are just as affordable as Thailand. Quality is just as good, and some could argue that it's even better if you start going into regular healthcare, availability of like clinics, etc. And the thing that I like is that it's a lot more predictable here. There isn't like double tier pricing. There's no vagueness about pricing. And if you do end up living here, I think now in about 3 months to 6 months, even if you don't work here, you can pay into the Korean national universal healthcare system. And I was looking into that myself, and it's gonna cost about $50 a month, and you get into the universal healthcare program here. So healthcare is definitely a lot more predictable out here. And one of the biggest factors in me trying to consider, even if I want to be in Bangkok, to try to base myself out of Korea as I get older, because, you know, healthcare is a realistic thing, guys. That being said, I mean, Bangkok has world-class affordable healthcare, but when it comes to like long-term care issues, I think Korea sort of edges Bangkok in that department. So yeah, overall, together with my previous video, you can see as far as like the immigration policy, etc., combined with great like universal healthcare options and benefits for, you know, residents and citizens, the cost long term could be significantly cheaper living in Korea. I still want to do more research on it and provide you more information, but based on my initial research, it's a big misconception to think that costs are ridiculously high in Korea. I think that's just a pure misconception by people that just are assuming and have absolutely no experience living in Korea and in Bangkok. So I know there's going to be a lot of questions around this. Definitely leave a comment if you have additional questions. Go ahead and troll this and put whatever you assume things are supposed to be without actually being here or basing it on information that's like decades old. But yeah, blow up my comment section, like it, and I hope you're enjoying this series where I provide you a deeper look into my journey back to Korea and why I am considering, basing myself out of Korea, even though I want to return to Thailand on a regular basis. So tomorrow I'm gonna be editing, but you'll probably see in a few days, a video about me hanging out in the sort of the red light district and enjoying delicious food there with Mayu. So I hope you guys stay tuned, subscribe, and set the notification so you get alerted for more episodes of my journey back to Korea.